And then what is the plan for the footprint of the current high school where we are now?
Go ahead.
That area right now is going to be slated for additional athletic fields, as well as there's parking on the lower part of the site to accommodate, I believe it's about 185 parking spaces down low.
Last question. Do you expect there to be a significant increase in traffic on Oakdale Road?
Actually, I think the way that it's currently envisioned, and again, we've had ongoing discussions with various town departments on this, is that we hope to be able to reduce the traffic in the neighborhood area. Right now, the way it's currently set up is that those areas would be primarily for bus drop-off, so we would be bringing parent drop-off and kind of the normal site traffic would be coming up to the west side of the artificial turf field that's there now. And by creating that road and swinging it around the school, we're able to establish a whole lot more on-site queuing. So we're able to get the cars off of Park and then up onto the site. So hopefully we'll be able to reduce some of that congestion. It's still an intersection, so it's something that, at high volume times, I expect that there's probably going to have to be somebody there to watch that intersection, similar to what's been happening at the back. But again, we're going to be doing a traffic study to further our understanding of what potentially could happen there and do the best job that we can.
And again, just for the record, the architect and some committee members have already met with the DPW, the fire department, the police department to talk about safety, talk about traffic, and there'll be ongoing meetings with them as we progress through the project. Dan?
Thank you, Deanna Castor, 9 Bradaway. I think we're all very proud of the fact that we have top-performing schools and high-achieving students, and I know that all of us want to maintain a very high-quality education in North Reading, but I do see ahead of us some challenges. So, Mr. Bernard, can you address how a no vote or us turning down this opportunity impacts you as an administrator who has to deal with very specific items that we're addressing accreditation issues? And then after that, if Principal O'Connell, I heard you talk about this once before, where so many other communities are building and investing in infrastructure and facilities. Teachers will have more choices. And I wonder if you'll just address how we're going to keep and maintain and attract the best quality educators anywhere to come here if we're not going to make the same types of investments.
John, you want to go first?
Sure. Well, thank you for the question, Mrs. Castro. Accreditation, for those folks who may not know, I'll just briefly summarize, is a process that public high schools across the state go through every 10 years. And North Reading High School is due to go through its next accreditation site visit in 2014. The last time that we were accredited, I had just started as the principal and received the report actually in my first month on the job. And I will tell you all that the building was cited for significant deficiencies at that time. Now, truth be told, there were a number of things that took place. We have a wonderful building and grounds department here in the town that serves our schools very well. But there is just certain things that are cost prohibitive or the building doesn't allow to be done. So because of that, I feel pretty confident in telling you all that if this project does not pass, I think it's fair to say that there would be citations in our accreditation report that reference the building. And essentially the citations would fall under the support of the community for its school system. There are 7 standards that we're measured against, and that's one of them. Does the community support its school system? And while I believe that it does, and will continue to do so, the accrediting agency references the building as one significant area where it measures to what extent the community is supporting its school system. So that's kind of, I think, a part of the answer to the question you asked, Mrs. Castro. The other piece is, it's getting increasingly difficult, I think, to maintain the level that we have all come to expect and that I think our students enjoy in terms of their education. The building is old, it's tired, it prohibits us from doing the kinds of things that need to get done for students to be competitive now and in the very short term. And I worry about that. I worry very seriously about that. You know, you can't help but sit where I'm sitting right now and listen to Michael Bitto talk to all of you and not feel a great sense of pride. And there are wonderful students in this community that, quite honestly, in my opinion, deserve a lot better than we're able to give them. This community is wonderfully supportive. Please don't misunderstand me. But this project, I think, opens up doors that even someone who's been doing this for 25 years working in public education can't even imagine what it will afford our students. It's extremely exciting. I will be extremely disappointed if it doesn't go the way that I hope it goes. But make no mistake that the work that we do here every day and the work that our students do is compromised by the current building. I think they deserve better, quite honestly. And I'm hoping that all of you see that and others do too. So I'm hoping that answered your question adequately. Yeah.
Sure. So one of the most important jobs that any principal does is hiring new staff. And I can give you a specific example. This summer, new to North Reading, I was looking for a 6th grade science teacher. And it's very competitive. And obviously we want the absolute best. And I ended up deciding on a young lady who was exceptional, and I'm sure is doing a fantastic job, but she's in another district. And the reason is, after offering her the job in North Reading, she said, I really want to take it. I would like to come and work with you and be part of your team, but I have another offer in another district. It's actually a neighboring district that I know well. And that particular offer comes with a science lab that is state-of-the-art, actually has gas, it has a sink. Our science classrooms, especially in the 6th grade, are really nothing more than a regular classroom. And it's going to get increasingly difficult for us to be able to hire the best when they are offered positions in other schools with state-of-the-art technology and state-of-the-art facilities. That's just a fact. There's no gray there. And I am concerned about that very much.
Thanks, Jeff. Anybody else? Yes. We're bringing it.
Sorry, hi, I'm Mary. I live on Strawberry Lane. Just a question about the voting process. Do we have an idea of how many people we're up against? Like how many people right now kind of stand as a yes versus no? Would there ever be any idea of like a preliminary vote before?
It's my opinion that everybody's in support of this project.
I know, me too, but...
I don't know what you're talking about. No, we haven't done any kind of polls. It's a very expensive project. I think everybody understands the necessity of it. I think everybody appreciates the hard work that's been done to this point in time. But you also have to respect people's pocketbooks too. So that's going to be the real issue. This is a good time. We're going to introduce Jeff Simons. Jeff is a community advocate, an advocate for education, and Jeff is going to be heading up the ballot initiative committee for this project. Jeff has coined a saying, he's wearing the sweatshirt tonight, and this is going to be the slogan, I think, of Jeff's committee, but this is, his slogan is, 2 schools, half price, 1 chance. So at this point, I'm going to give Jeff a chance to speak, and anybody that wants to work with Jeff on the ballot question initiative, I'd encourage him to talk to him tonight, but he can explain to you what's going on.
Hi, yes, I'm Jeff Simons and have been a veteran of many of these ballot override projects going back about 15 years to when the little school, which had been closed when enrollment was really low, reopened and got rehabbed. The Swan Pond School several times, which did not pass initially. We moved on to the Hood School, which has had a terrific renovation, and finally we ended up with building a significant rehab and lots of new building at the Batch. So this is the final chapter in the process of addressing our dramatic increase in enrollment over the last 20, 30 years, and about 1,000 more students in the district than just 20 years ago. So it's been a huge sort of increase in student population that we've seen coming for quite a while. To your question, in this case, so far from the people that I speak to in the community, it doesn't appear that there's major organized opposition as there has been in past projects, but probably in this case, the major opposition is going to be the cost. It's going to be a huge cost. It's a 10% increase to people's taxes. That is not insignificant. But I think, as was pointed out tonight, I think the message that we have to get across clearly is that we're looking at a 10% increase in taxes to have these two beautiful new facilities, great schools that address our enrollment needs and all the program needs that you've heard about tonight. Actually, that's to back up the point, a little research that I did actually, you can see that the school population since 1990, kind of over on the right side, the total population of the school is up by nearly 1,000 since 1990. Town population has increased significantly, of course, over the years as well, kind of going back to 1960 when the schools were built. The current schools in the 60s. And the town has increased in size. North Reading's not the same town as it was when these schools were built. And to me, the thing that's most dramatic, if you look way over on the right, as you can see that even in the past, really 10 years, 20 years, excuse me, the town population has increased by a couple, 3,000 people, but most of that is children. So clearly North Reading is attracting a lot of families these days, which is causing that increase in student population. So the cost is significant, but what's important to get across to folks is that the cost of the deferred maintenance and other sorts of issues here is nearly the same. So we're looking at a $60 million cost that we'll budget over 25 years compared to paying nearly that amount of money. Difference is only $10 million, maybe 20% less, but you're going to get two beautiful brand new schools. So, but the process is not easy. It's getting people out. It's making people aware of all this. If we assume, which I would probably conservatively, about a 70% turnout for this election, there's about 10,000 registered voters in town, which means that we may have as many as 7,500 people voting. At 77,000 people voting, that means, you do the math, we need about 3,500 people to vote yes for this project, I think, to give it its best chance to win. And we've got 2 months to do it. Okay? Once the selectmen take their vote next week, the Citizens Committee, the Ballot Question Committee, which I'll be helping to organize, will come into existence. And we've got almost exactly 2 months to identify and make sure that 3,500 people turn out to vote yes for this project. We could use some help, so if anybody wants to pitch in, at this point, the committee's not officially yet, but through Janine Embriano and the School Building Committee, you can let us know if you're interested. As of next week, we'll have a website to communicate to you and other communication tools that we'll have available. So that'll be the project. We're going to be trying to reach out to all different kinds of constituency groups, different ages, different populations, coffees, go out to people's houses, go to people's meetings, invite people in to hear forums such as this that the school's been doing. At this point, once the vote is taken to set up the date of the special election in the town meeting, the ballot question committee has to somewhat take over that function. Okay, with our, they can serve as experts to give us information. Any other questions that you have about how the process works? Cliff?
I'm Cliff Bowers. I'm on the school committee and on the secondary school building committee.
And about a dozen other committees, but go ahead, Cliff.
I'd just like, in difference to this lady, I'd like to know how many people in this room have doubts about this project tonight? And can you tell us what they are so that we can address them for you? This is a fantastic project. I spent 45 years in the construction business as a consultant, and I've watched a lot of projects over that period of time. And I've watched this project from the time that we started, what classrooms we need, what space we need for laboratories and other facilities. And I've watched it grow along the way. I've watched the plans develop along the way. And I was fortunate enough to be able to go online and look at the drawings, all the drawings that have been done to date. This is a fantastic project. And we have a civic responsibility to this generation that's coming along right now and to future generations to make sure that we have an appropriate education facility for them. And this is an opportunity to do that, and frankly, at a bargain basement price, because it's going to cost us almost as much. There have been several people who have commented about that. Almost as much. if we don't do this project, and we won't have any